And turn it. Can we stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Are there any announcements? Dave, come on up for inspiration. And nobody clapped.
As we've made the move to be more secular with our inspirations, which means you have to work a little bit harder. I just can't grab my altar boy stuff and pick out a prayer. So I have a quote, and this is from George Clooney. My father gave me the best advice of my life. He said, whatever you do, don't wake up at 65 years old and think about what you should have done with your life. So mull that over, folks. Eat that cookie, get that hot fudge sundae, go on that vacation. And the words of Grandma Fonzie, don't be shy.
I guess I'm going to pass it over to Beth, the Toastmaster. Thank you. Kate will be disappointed if I don't take it.
Yes. Okay, let's see. Should I get rid of the unmute to start speaking? Do they see that up in Zoom or no? Okay. Good morning, everyone. Our theme for today is Tartan Day. Tartan Day is a date, April 6th, that it really wasn't, it's not that long of a thing that is being celebrated. St. Patrick's Day has been celebrated for years, but actually Tartan Day really didn't start till, let's see, 1987, I believe. And so it is celebrated by many countries around the world. It was begun by the members of the Scottish diaspora in Nova Scotia. Diaspora means a dispersion or spread of a people from their original homeland. The Federation of Scottish Clans went to many government agencies in Canada to promote a day that celebrates everything Scottish. They chose April 6th because it was the day of the historic Scotland Declaration of Arbroath. Sent from Arbroath Abbey and dated April 6, 1320, the Declaration of Arbroath was a letter to the Pope from the noblemen and landowners of Scotland. It was written after nearly 25 years of war over control of the nation and asserted Scotland's right to be recognized as an independent power, as well as demanding recognition for Robert the Bruce as rightful king. And I will go on a little bit. I'm going to ask David to come back up. He has agreed to be my general evaluator. Thank you.
I came in from the other side of the shot just to break it up. I'm going to be general evaluator. That means I am responsible to evaluate the Toastmaster of the day and to evaluate the evaluators. Because at AM Lockport, nothing goes unevaluated.
Thank you. And our word master for the day is Mike Florio, who is on Zoom. So what is your word of the day, Mike?
Good morning, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. Our word of the day this morning is Bonnie.
Bunny.
Bonnie lass. So means basically something beautiful, right? It's a common way of describing something that is somewhat lovely. We'll send it over to our Bonnie Beth.
Thank you.
Remember the word today. Please try and use it.
Yes,
Picked an easy one.
I like it. You know, we remember Bonnie Prince Charlie, who was really not very successful, but
Bonnie Prince
and
Charlie.
maybe a tad more weird than many Scottish are willing to believe. I don't know, maybe possible. For those of you that are here on Zoom, the members that are here, Nancy Ferry, myself, Dave Licata, Mike Licata, Mary Cavanero, Kate Orr, Maggie Craig, Darcy Colby, I believe our newest member. Thank you. Sylvia Baptiste, Marty Johnson, Joe Budnick, Tracy Farrell. On Zoom today is Margot Bittner, Mike Florio, Carol Halstead, Bill Russell, and of course, we can't forget our wonderful Zoom master who gets everything set up for us, Len Thornton. Thank you very much. Has anyone seen Eric? He's on his way. Okay, so we will have him be introduced later. Yes. Our grammarian for today is Maggie Craig. Maggie, can you come up and explain to us your job for the day? What?
So I'm a dual citizen and I'm a citizen. Actually, I have 3 citizenships. First one is Canadian, second American, and third, actually I was born Scottish, so with a British passport. So it's a bonny day. However,
There you go.
it's a bonny day. Which,
Bonnie day.
it's a good idea. Completely different. So as grammarian, I am going to be, do you know, it's interesting. Online, it says the grammarian introduces the word of the day. Yeah, so I didn't know that, obviously, because I'm such a newbie. I didn't know that. But anyway, the word of the day, I'll use it instead. I'm going to be listening for your use of grammar and highlighting rhetorical devices and provide feedback on your use of the English language, both good and bad. Great day.
And our quote master of the day, Sylvia.
I have a couple of quotes, but I'm going to do the serious one first. Here's to it, the fighting sheen of it, the yellow, the green of it, the white, the blue of it, the swing of the hue of it, the dark, the red of it, every thread of it. The fair have signed for it, the brave have fought for it. For most heroes fought for it. It kind of repeated itself. I don't honor the name of it, drink to it, the tartan. And then I thought this was a cute one because we all love to drink here. One good thing about rain in Scotland, most of it ends up in scotch.
That's good. That's very good. And our jester for today is Tracy Farrell.
Thank you, fellow Toastmasters. I have to admit, it is very difficult to find Scottish jokes. It doesn't talk about a drunk with his kilt flying in the air. However, I do have a bunch of dad jokes for you today, so bear with me. Why did the kilt-wearing Scotsman bring a ladder to the bar? Okay, because he heard the drinks were on the house. Ah, I told you they were bad. Why did the Scotsman bring a second pair of pants to the golf course? Bingo! Okay. This will be, I have two more just because I can't help myself. Why was a Scottish pirate the best at math? Oh, that's good. However, according to Google, it's because he had a B-wit of pi rate in him. Okay, final one. A final one, and I'll leave you. Why do Scots make terrible thieves?
Make terrible what?
Thieves.
Thieves.
Because they are afraid to get killed in the act. All right, so much for these Bonnie jokes. Take care.
Thank you. Okay, let's see. And Marty Johnson is ready to go. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests. On this bonny day in Lockport, New York, I am the timer, and I have colored cards that I'll be raising at certain points in the meeting, but we'll also be prompted by colors on your computer screen for those in Zoom. But table topics, the impromptu speaking portion of the meeting, it's 1.5 to 2 minutes. There'll be a green light or a green card at 1 minute and 30, yellow at 1:45, and red at 2 minutes. And there's a 15-second buffer on either side. And the same will hold true at the speeches. I know we have a very special day today with an icebreaker. I know the Darcy speech will be 4 to 6 minutes. And Joe and Margot, I'm presuming that those are 5 to 7 minutes. And those will be the same with the lights, 5 to 7, the green, 6 yellow, and 7 red with a 30-second buffer. Our evaluations after the speaking portion are 2 to 3 minutes. The 30-second buffer, the green at 2, the yellow at 2:30, and the red at 3 minutes. Madam Toastmaster of the day, back to you. Thank you.
Okay, yes, a little bit different for me. Eric, would you like to tell us about your job today? We'll go back to Eric. Okay. Hi there.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm late, but time.
You're
And-
never late to anything.
Yes, I'm forgetting. Yes. Okay.
Exactly, because, come on, it's such a shock. Yeah.
Yes, this is. Yeah. Anyway, I'm your odd master this morning. I'll be counting the ahs, ums, ands, buts, so's, likes, and I will report at the end. Thank you.
And our quiz master today, Mary Cavanero.
I will be testing your listening skills and report at the end of the meeting.
Thank you. And before we continue, I would like to make a toast to all of our bunny Toastmasters for today. Whether you are Scottish or whether you are not, on Tartan Day, April 6th, everyone can be a little bit of Scottish. Hear, hear. Okay. And before we get to the speaking portion, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about Tartan Day. Scotland and England fought for many years over independence until the two kingdoms united politically into one kingdom called Great Britain in 1707. There is still a faction that wants Scotland to be independent. However, when a referendum was held on this in 2014, 44.7% of the voters answered yes, and 55.3% answered no. So there are a lot of Scotsmen in the United States that think that Scotland should separate from England, but apparently the people who live there, who get to vote, aren't so with that. Interesting. So they are still a part of the United Kingdom. The word tartan used to mean a material, but now mostly describes a pattern. But the word plaid originally meant a garment, but now is used to describe a garment. Interesting. Usually part of the traditional costume. Tartan fabric is a plaid design with a name and history associated with a specific Scottish family. Often these designs are registered in the historical archives or online databases. The tartan I am wearing, if people can see from there, is my family, which the family name is Scott. I know that seems kind of strange, but this is the Scott tartan. I found when I was getting this made, like every family name has multiple tartans. So you may see a Scott tartan and it looks like this, and you may see a Scott tartan that doesn't look like this at all. They have some of them 5 or 6. They have hunting tartans, and they have formal hunting tartans, and they have, it's amazing. So I like red. So this is the one I picked. That worked for me. So we will continue on. We're going to have our speeches today first. Carol Ann, you are evaluating Margot?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Would you tell us about Margot's speech? Thank you.
Actually, on our website, I did not see what path that Margot is pursuing. However, I'm assuming it is 5 to 7 minutes, Mr. Timer. And do you have her title?
Leadership Survival. Thank you very much. Margot, now we'll be talking.
Thank you. This is the
leadership
time of year.
survival.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. So this is the time of year when the past president goes around and tries to convince all the wonderful people in our club that they want to take on an office. And people say, well, I don't know how to do that. So today I'm going to give you the things I put in my leadership survival kit. I have a number of things that would help you be a great leader for our club and make Kate's life that much easier. In fact, these are some of the keys to success that you will need. So the first thing you want to remember is that you want to add some color to our club. So yes, I have a crayon because it will add a bonny complexion to everything we do. And when you're asked to be a leader, there's something in you that will help color our world in a new way, give us a new way to think about things. And so be flattered that they're asking you and think about all the ways you could color our club. But when you think about all the jobs in being a leader, it gets a little confusing. So of course you do need a pencil to write down your ideas, to write down your questions, to think about what you want to do as you take on a leadership role. But on the other side of a pencil is the eraser, because maybe one of the ideas you came up with needs a little tweaking. So you might have to erase a note or two. Maybe you make a mistake. It's okay. Erase it and move on. Or maybe you come up with even more ideas, but don't have room on the paper. So you have to make some. So think about how a pencil can help you with the ideas that you're going on. Now, dealing with people can be a challenge. We all know that. So when you're a leader in our club, you have to be flexible. You have to think about all the different ways you can cope with a problem, all the different things that can happen. And remember, next day is a good day. And if you get a little bit frustrated, stick with it. Just take a stick of gum, sit and relax, but stick with whatever the issue is that's going on in our club, and you would be amazed how many things that you can solve and move forward as you take on whatever leadership role it is. Because the thing about Toastmaster leadership is it's a team. You're not going to do it alone. So how do you do that? Our core of Toastmasters, to me, and I know that's not our current theme, is leaders, how leaders are made, is communication. So I have fancy dancy Post-it notes that I use when I'm in a leadership position. And they have some neat phrases on them like, life is hard. That's why we made snacks. If all else fails, scream into the void. So if you do have a challenge, write it down. Use that pencil. Remember that we're communicating back and forth, and it's ways of expressing ourselves that can help our club move forward. We're all heading in the same direction. Now, when you're a part of a Toastmasters group, you suddenly look at the job you have to do, and you think, wow, there's a lot to do it. So take your paper clip and divide it up. If you're going to be running a contest, who are your judges? Who are the speakers? Who are the timers? Whatever your job is, take a minute, think about the paperclip that you can divide it all up into little parts. And sometimes that paperclip just keeps you organized so you know what has to come next. Now, as I said, dealing with people can be a challenge. So when you're a leader, you need something very, very special to get you through. A pinch of salt, or sometimes you need a shaker of salt. You have to remember this too will pass, that whoever is giving you the challenge of the day is actually adding flavor to the club, and you need to turn it around. But when people have challenges in our club, there's something very important that you need. And this is going to be something you need to think about a little bit. Yes, a button for your lips. Because when there are challenges, sometimes as a leader, you don't need to be speaking, you need to be listening. It may be that whatever is going on that someone is challenged by, they just want to be heard. Or maybe they have an idea that can tweak something. You don't have to answer the question, the issue, whatever is going on right away. You can stop, take a minute, and think. And sometimes the reason they're coming to you is their feelings have been hurt. So sometimes you just need a little Band-Aid, a little something to put on it just to ease the pain. 9 times out of 10, when there is a challenge, if someone is listened to and that Band-Aid is there, you can move on. You also need to keep a sense of humor with whatever you're doing. So I have a Snickers bar. And I also have a piece of candy so you don't bite off more than you can chew. Ask for help, because that's what lifesavers are for. And who are your lifesavers? Those of us who have been in the club for years, the previous officers, somebody else who can give you an idea of how to cope with what's going on. You will need a lot of energy to be a leader in our club because we are going all over the place and doing many things, but it can be tiring. And if it's tiring, don't be afraid to sit down with a cup of tea, take a deep breath, think about what's going well, think about 1 or 2 things to improve, and think about the great direction we're heading. Yes, you can use the sandwich approach as you sit and consider our club. Now, I would have a marble for you, but I've lost mine long ago, so hopefully whoever you are can keep it. So as you put the many pieces of our club together, please remember, you are worth a mint to all of us. The fact that you are stepping up is everything that we could need. And I thank you for sharing your light with us. So please, when Kate asks, would you like to be a leader? Say yes. We're all here to help you. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Margot. Our next speaker is Joe Budnick, who will be evaluated by Jackie Kenny. Jackie, can you tell us about Joe's speech? Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Joe has been an imaginative speaker for a long time in our club now. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he has for us this morning, or I should say, hearing what he has for us this morning. He's going to be doing an L3 elective in the presentation mastery path, Inspire Your Audience. You have his title, Madam Toastmaster?
I don't. Oh, I said yes. Yes.
There you are. All right, take it away.
I think this is appropriate, the house on Drake Settlement, because I live just around the corner from that.
Good morning. Yes, there is a house on Drake Settlement Road in Burt. I don't know who lives there now, but for years it belonged to my grandparents. My grandma and grandpa Vincent, my mom's mother and father, and my grandfather lived there for quite some time after my grandmother passed away. About a year ago, my two cousins, Rick and Kathy, came up from Ohio, and we drove by that house and looked at it, and we shared memories that we had growing up. Now, years ago, my Aunt Donna and Uncle Dick, their parents, when they would come up and visit us from Ohio, that's where they would stay with my grandfather. So I would always come and visit. And we always had great memories there when spending time with my two cousins. Now, my grandfather had a barn in his backyard, and there was always kitty cats in the barn, but a lot of times they were feral. You really couldn't get near them, but he always fed them and took care of them. And we tried to see if there were kittens, because when the kittens were born, we could pet them and play with them until they got older and didn't like people. Now, I remember this one time, me and my two cousins, Rick and Kathy, went upstairs in the barn, and we thought there might have been kittens underneath the floorboards. Now, my cousin Kathy, I think, was in one of her moods that day. I don't know what her issue was. So Rick and I said, well, Kathy, we looked under the boards, the floorboards. We can't see any kittens. Why don't you look? And she looks at us. I don't want to get spit at. The last time I looked under the floorboards, that mother cat spit at me, and I don't want to get spit at again. Kathy, the mother cat is not even under the floorboards. Why don't you check to see if there's kittens? Maybe you can see. I don't want to get spit at again. Kathy, you're not. The mother cat is not even there. Now, Rick and I can't see if there's kittens. Why don't you check? So she looks. I got spit at. I don't know. Maybe she did, or maybe she was just in a mood that day. I don't know. We didn't hear it, but whatever. We didn't see the kittens or the mother cat, but my grandfather later on, he had a cat that is a pet. It was a gray tigger, and he was really lovable and friendly. And when he would call the cat, he would always say, come on, come on. So that was his name, come on. That was original. Now, when my grandfather passed away, I wanted to take the cat home with me, but my mother and father hate cats with an ungodly passion. I think they'd rather have a herd of skunks in the house than one cat. So unfortunately, I lost that battle. But fortunately, the family that moved in had two kids that really gave the cat a lot of love and attention. So I knew he was in good hands. I also remember at my grandfather's house, we had a picnic, and I met some relatives from Canada that I never knew I had. And that's when I met my second cousin, Helen Phillips. And she and I have been very, very close, and have always been close after that since I met her. Just heard from her mom the other day, and they like to come up and visit. So I remember that house was always the center of activity. It was always whenever our family got together, or we had holidays or reunions. That's always where we always met. And as I said, my cousins and I shared a lot of memories of doing that. Kathy vaguely remembers my grandmother because she passed away, I think, when I was about 10, and Kathy was only like maybe 7 or 8 at the time. But my grandfather lived there by himself after my grandmother passed away, and he actually did well. He took care of himself quite well. And we, of course, always visited him during the holidays, brought him dinner, brought him gifts, that sort of thing. So my cousins are going to be coming up again in a couple days, Rick and Kathy. They're going to be visiting us and staying with my mom and I. Maybe, just maybe, we might just drive by that house on Drake Settlement Road again and share some more memories that we had of growing up. It was sad when my grandpa passed away when we sold the house, but memories still linger, and that's truly what's important. And you hold those memories dear to your heart, and you create more memories and keep going. And I truly think that's important. So hopefully we'll have a good visit again. Maybe we might drive by again and share some more memories again of that house on Drake Settlement Road. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Joe. And our last speaker of the day, Darcy will be giving her icebreaker. She will be evaluated by Mike Licata.
Thank you, Beth. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. Darcy's giving her icebreaker, which means it's going to be her first speech to the club. The purpose of this project is for the members to introduce themselves to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. Mr. Timer, it says 4 to 6 minutes, but I know in AM Lockport tradition, we don't hold the time against the speaker with icebreakers. And do you have a title then? Do you want to? I'll let you. So this is Darcy Colby, Icebreaker 2.0. She's our newest member, and we're looking forward to her journey in Toastmasters.
Thank you, Mike Licata, and Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and any guests that might be here, because I still don't know everybody's name. Who is this new person that has joined your AM Lockport Toastmasters? I'm sure you're curious, and I'm curious to get to know all of you as well. So by the end of my Icebreaker 2.0, I'm hoping that I will answer that question, and you'll get to know me a little bit better. And you'll also get to know why I joined Toastmasters. So let's start with the latter. Thank you so much. I joined this AM Lockport Toastmasters to continue my learning that started over 25 years ago. I used to be a member of this group, AM Lockport, several years ago, and I was also a member of Jabberwocky Toastmasters. Having already achieved my competent Toastmaster and competent leader, I was hoping to go on to the next level at a fairly rapid pace onto my distinguished Toastmaster. However, the educational program has changed and the rungs of that ladder have disintegrated, and here I am giving my icebreaker again. So that's why I call it Icebreaker 2.0. But the goal has remained the same. I want to improve my communication and leadership skills and achieve my distinguished Toastmaster. I grew up on a Bonnie dairy farm in Wilson and have lived in Niagara County most of my life. We milked 100 cows. And we grew all the crops needed for them on about 700 acres. I learned all about cows. I learned all about tractors. I've driven a lot of different kinds of tractors with tillage equipment. So I learned a lot, among other things. I moved to KU Cayuga County for a number of years, and my daughter attended Union Springs School. She will be graduating this May from Niagara University with her master's degree in business administration. So now I reside in Spencerport, which is in Monroe County, and I've been there for about 6 years. My education. But I did. That's my daughter. That's when she graduated with her bachelor's degree, and those are my parents. My education has consisted of my associate's degree from Alfred State College. Then I worked for a few years, and I went back to school, received my bachelor's from Buffalo State College, and then worked a few more years, went back and got my master's degree from the University of Buffalo. My employment has been all in agriculture, in the agriculture industry, and in education. Some of the jobs I did in the agriculture industry, some of them, I was a credit analyst for 2 different banks. I also did collections for Agway, and I also was an agriculture teacher for a few years. Then things changed, and I moved on to teaching. Oh, see, I got too much. Went on to teach middle school math for a number of years. I've retired from teaching, and I now keep busy with several part-time jobs. I making all kinds of mistakes up here. I'm so rusty. I'm a tutor at Spencerport School. I also tutor privately. I'm the music director at my church, where I direct a choir, a praise band, and a handbell choir. My choir, my praise band. I don't have a picture of the handbell choir. I also give tours at Springdale Farms at the robotic milking facility. In my spare time, I sing in a duo with a guitar player. And in fact, we have a show coming up at Becker Farms in Gasport on Saturday, May 24th, if you're interested. My husband and I are leaders for a 4-H club. We just had our monthly meeting last night, where we had a guest speaker come in and we made pickles. I own 2 very large German Shepherd dogs named Smith and Wesson. They're to the tune of 130 pounds apiece. And they do their job supremely well of intimidating anybody who dares to enter my driveway. The delivery trucks are especially entertaining when they dare not even get out of their trucks and just roll the window down and drop the packages on the ground. My husband is a part owner of Colby Homestead Farms with his brother, his sister, his daughter on a dairy, crop, and vegetable farm. He is the 7th generation, his daughter is the 8th generation, and her 2 little kids are the 9th generation of this family-owned farm. We milk 200 cows, all robotically milked, and with a whole list of crops grown. The farm employs 15 people, so you can imagine there's always challenges. My husband is also the main engineer and technician, and he's on call 24 hours a day. There are 211 reasons why his phone might ring for a robotic malfunction. 24 hours a day, any time of the day or night. So to say I am busy is an understatement, but I do enjoy filling my time with worthwhile and fun challenges. Here I am. So to wrap up, my goal is to continue to improve my communication and leadership skills, and I'm thrilled to be back in my old club with you Bonnie people. Dave Licata may not have remembered me from the first time around, but I certainly remembered him and how impressed I was by his speaking ability, and maybe I will get there someday. I very much look forward to Thursday mornings because all of you make this a welcoming place to learn, to grow, and to help each other along the way. And I love driving to Niagara County because I'm homesick all the time. Thank you for the opportunity to get to know you and to become a more confident speaker and leader alongside of you, Madam Toastmaster.
Standing ovation. That's funny.
Don't take my notes, but I won't have a clue what I'm doing.
Okay. Before we go on to table topics, I will just say a few more things about Tartan Day. It's a chance for people all around the world to celebrate their connections to Scotland, including the United States, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, Ireland, and to a lesser extent, Argentina, Chile, and Brazil. There are parades, there are festivals, there are dinners. For example, the Rochester Scottish Heritage Society hosts a party held on the first Saturday in April that includes dinner, a salute to the haggis, music, dance, and raffles. We will be there to help them celebrate. And today it is estimated that 10% of the US population has Scottish roots. I do, yes. Among the 47 presidents of the United States, 34 have Scottish ancestry, including Washington, Roosevelt, Trump, and Clinton. There are many other Scots scattered throughout that are famous. Alexander Graham Bell, Andrew Carnegie, John Muir, Alan Pinkerton, Robert Downey Jr., Taylor Swift, Mel Gibson, Carrie Underwood, and Sean Connery. Waiting for Eric's help there. Thank you very much. We're going to move on to table topics. Nancy Ferry has agreed to do that. Oh, timers. Sorry, the reports. How we do?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the day. All three speakers qualified. Margot, 647. Joe Budnick, 431 with the buffer. Darcy Colby, 747. All three speakers qualified. Thank you.
Thanks. Bring it down for us a little bit. Okay, thank you.
You, Madam Toastmaster. What a fun topic. I have a little Scottish blood in me. I'm from the McNeil family. I don't know if it's MacNeil or McNeil. My brother knew those things. Okay. I know one is Irish and one is Scottish, but I just say it fast usually so people don't pick up. And my brother was a Scottish country dancer, along with his wives, he had two. They were both Scottish. We won't go there. Kate, I noticed that you are wearing a bonny tartan shawl, and I would love to have you come up and share with us about your shawl, whatever you'd like to share about it. Is it a shawl? It must have a better name than that.
Sure.
Let me show this off. Maybe a cape. This is a cape. It's got a hood, but a shawl works. So this, I'm going to show this off for the camera too. This is the Black Watch tartan. This is my favorite, so much so that my mother made my wedding dress out of Black Watch tartan. And I meant to bring photographs. Several of you are in these photographs, and I did not. Someday. The dress was beautiful. The tartan dress also included a piece of my mother's wedding dress and her mother's wedding dress that they handmade. It was so beautiful. We removed the pearls off of Nana's dress, and I sewed some of them, but not very much. My mother did 99% of the work on that dress. I should have worn the dress or brought it or something. But I brought this tartan and I brought one for Mary too. And I want to point out on the program, this is a lovely program for anybody who's in the building. And in tiny print, it actually lists the clans. Last week, I mentioned that in Scotland, the tartans or the plaid connect to the family names, usually. And in Ireland, the county names. Usually, not always. Like Mom mentioned earlier, tartans are by personal choice. Most are considered open to the public or open use, like Blackwatch. I'm sorry, Scotland the Brave. Did I say this was Blackwatch earlier? This is Scotland the Brave. Blackwatch is on here in the center, the blue and green. That's one that's also open to the public. A lot of organizations now have tartans. Mary, I brought in the Niagara Celtic Festival tartan for one of our anniversaries, I think 15th or 20th. My sister Vicky ordered one. The colors have to do symbolically often with the family. So in the Scotland the Brave, there is white and blue to symbolize the Scottish flag, the saltire, or white, the white and blue of the flag. It's the oldest continuously used flag too in all of the world. And then the blue and purple represent the thistle, and the green, it's hard to see, the green and purple represent the thistle and the beautiful views of Scotland. Clearly, I need to make this into a speech that's longer. I will now wrap this up. I encourage you to learn more about tartans and wear some. You can wear whatever you like.
Thank you, Kate. I knew it was going to be long. Len, tartans are unique, just as we are. If you were to weave your own personal tartan, what colors would it be included and why? Please use the word of the day, Bonnie.
Thank you, Madam Topic Master. Too late, Kate, sorry. I don't have to imagine what my tartan would be. I do, in fact, own a kilt, and it sports the Ferguson tartan because I found that in my history, and I really like the colors. It's primarily green. There's a little bit of blue, some yellow threads in there, and some darker ones, and it just kind of fit when I saw that. It's very similar to the one on the bottom left of the sheet here, if you're in person with us. It's a very Bonnie pattern, in my opinion. Now, I've seen a lot of different kilts, having attended the Celtic Festival for so many years. And some really stand out at you, the yellow ones. I look at those and it just doesn't scream traditional with me. But certainly, it is a valid pattern. And when you see a whole band sporting them, you know, a drum and pipe band, obviously it's authentic. And it's fun to go around to the different clan tents and see there's all the history of their tartans and the little trinkets and the souvenirs they have from Scotland. And kind of immerse yourself in the history of our heritage here. Quite a few hands went up when asked who was Scottish here, and I claim a little bit of Scottish ancestry myself, mostly Irish, but there was a lot of mixing in there, so I'll wrap this up. Back to you, Madam Topic Master.
Thank you, Len. And Phil, are you still on? Or did Phil sign off? You got disconnected. Well, I think people who come in late, even if you do have, do you have the word of the day? You're on, Master. Oh, he's on. Oh, you were hiding. I get it. Phil, do you have any Celtic blood in your line? And do you celebrate your heredity? And if so, how? Please use the word of the day, which is Bonnie. You're making me seasick there, Phil.
Well, Madam Topics Master, I have a Bonnie Fun phone. it just decided to do an update and it kicked me off right in the middle of that. And it took me this long to get back on. It's one of those days. I have a lot of things to do. It's things go wrong. You know how that is. And I'm trying to do, I'm not trying to hurry. I'm just trying to do things correctly. But in the process of that, I usually make a few mistakes. Now, as far as my heritage, the name Russell, oh, a nun said it was from England. My father had a fit, and I found out it's from Down County up in Northern Ireland. And my father said, don't look too far back. You might not like what you find. And I found out that Hitler wanted to invade England so bad, and some Irishmen from the north went over to deal with Hitler. He says, we got 50,000 well-armed soldiers here ready to go to war for you. Oh, son of a gun. He found out there was about 500 to 5,000 farmers with pitchforks and torches and a few guns buried in the ground. What was his name? Sean Russell. So I don't dare go back too far. And how do I celebrate that Irish heritage? Like the Irish of the Irish. It started on Friday in South Buffalo at Potter's Field. The next day, a few days later, the Seamus, of course, a couple of times at the Seamus. But you can't miss out on going to Covey's Cove for a couple of bloodies, and then followed up by a bunch of good old-fashioned Guinness. Oh, yeah, and a few Jameson in there? Yeah, that happens. And poor Pete Sharkey, he had to spend his time in Dublin on that day. Madam Topics Master, Bonnie Day.
Phil, thank you so much. Madam Toastmaster.
And Marty is all ready with our timers report. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Timers report. Kate Orr, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Len Thornton, 143. Phil Russell, 221. So if my math is correct, we do not need to, well, yes, we do need to vote. Len qualified and Phil qualified. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Len qualified at 143. Everyone else went over. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Well, I suppose we don't need to have the word master report. Okay.
Bonnie.
Mike, Kate's saying that we should still have you report, probably because she didn't use the word of the day.
I did not hear Kate use the word. She spoke for a while, but did
She
not
was
use the word
honest
of the
and said she
day.
did not.
Len used it. Phil used it twice. Maggie, Craig used it twice. Beth used it once. Tracy used it once. Marty used it once. Margot used it once in her speech. And our icebreaker, Darcy, used it twice in her icebreaker. So very impressive.
Very good.
That's my report.
All right. Thank you, Mike.
Bonnie, have a Bonnie day.
We will try to have a Bonnie day. Okay. Before I call for evaluations, I do want to point out that on the tables there are some books on Scotland. If any of you want to just read through, if you want to borrow them, that's fine too. Go to Scotland if you get a chance. It is a beautiful country. Tourism is huge over there. Possibly has something to do with the Outlander series and how popular that is. It's definite. According to Kate, it's definite. So we will move on to our evaluators. Carol Ann, are you prepared to evaluate Margot?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Okay,
nice plaid.
Margot, as always, is a very effective speaker. She's very enthusiastic about any topic she speaks on. I think it was very interesting, all the props that she had. A couple were a little difficult to see due to the Zoom atmosphere. However, to explain the characteristics that are needed to be a good officer was really very informative, because some of it, I don't think we think of all the different things that are expected of an officer. And the fact that she said, we're all a team, and anyone seeking an officer position, particularly for the first time, will have any assistance that they need. She always has quite a bit of vocal variety, always throws in a little bit of humor. I think the only problem with being on Zoom is sometimes your hand gestures, although she does try to effectively use them, sometimes they're a little bit lost in the when it is on Zoom. And the fact that telling us all that was expected of an officer, but encouraging all of us to try to take a role. This speech was had a call to action, which is always a positive thing. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Carol Ann. Our next evaluator is Jackie Kenny, who will be evaluating Darcy for her icebreaker. No. Oh, up above. Yes. Joe. Okay. Can't even read my own.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. I've known Joe for a very long time. I met him when he was a nice plump baby on his mother's lap. So I've watched him grow over the years. And I know he has a theatrical background from college. And I thought that showed in the way he presented himself today. Explaining his lineage and letting us know who some of the people in his background might be and what they mean to him was a very good way of inspiring us to think about our own backgrounds and treasure some of those memories that we have. They're very important. And it was nice, Joe, to have you talk about something that was not melodramatic or a big, huge thing going on in your life, just the day-to-day things that we all want to remember those things and share them with people. I'd like to see you be more careful about the connecting words that you use. There were a lot of ands and nows. So stop using those to start all your sentences. Come up with some new phrases and rehearse a little bit more. Maybe rehearsing would help you eliminate those connecting words and add some more polish to your speech. but it's always a pleasure to hear you share your memories and the things that are important to you in your life. So a very bonny speech this morning, Joe. Thank you very much. I'm guarding the lectern. Okay. Thank you.
And thank goodness Mike is ready for me. Thank you, Mike. And you will be evaluating Darcy. Appreciate it.
Thank you again, Madam Toastmaster. Good morning, Toastmasters, and especially Darcy. I want to welcome Darcy back and give her another applause this morning. I also want to thank you for jumping in to give your icebreaker again. When people rejoin or when they join the club, a lot of it goes different ways. Either they want to jump in and give the icebreaker right away, or they want to wait till the schedule comes out and see what it fits in. So I want to thank you again for stepping up this morning. You look comfortable. I think it's very important. I know when most people start join Toastmasters is because they have just a tremendous fear of public speaking. So I thought you did a great job this morning. You look very comfortable up behind the lectern. Your experience shows you did a great job with the props and the tables. So kudos for having the foresight to bring props and use them as part of the icebreaker. Icebreakers with this new pathways are actually very unique because you can take your icebreaker in many different directions. So giving us a little bit backstory about yourself, giving us your history without diving into too much detail was a good job, because I feel that with the way the new system works, you can get into more details with speeches later about your experiences in school, the experiences with your daughter getting her MBA at Niagara. It's a good way to start your journey here as you restart with Toastmasters. Some of the suggestions I would make would be to don't worry about how you think the speech is going. Just power through it. We all do it. We all develop our own speaking styles. So you don't have to stop and comment about how you think it's going. Just plow through it. Just do it, because it's important for the cohesion, and as you become a better speaker, as you still are on this journey with us at AM Lockport, that you just go. The new system and a lot of the changes with pathways we can get into. Most of even the experienced Toastmasters aren't thrilled with how pathways works, but that's another thing. I don't want to get too deep into that. The other thing, and one of the luxuries that we have, thanks to Len and thanks to everyone else in this club, is you can go back and watch your speech. We upload everything to YouTube. It's all on there. You can go back. And saying that too, we have to get comfortable, and it still takes a lot of time for even the experienced speakers to get comfortable, because we realize we have to speak for the people that are at home by looking into the webcam here, along with trying to work the room. It is one of those really unique challenges that is very unique to this club, because we have this opportunity to do both online and in person. These hybrid meetings are tremendous, and it gives us this great opportunities. But I want to welcome you back again, Darcy. I think you did a very solid job for your speech back. And I want to also offer, if anybody needs help, we also have a good mentorship program as well. It is also a call out to our current members that if anybody needs to pursue a leadership thing through mentorship, it's a good thing too. And I'm going over, and I know, but don't forget, we also have the notes as well for the people in person.
Thank you.
And before I turn it over to general evaluator and we go through the roles, the jobs people had, I need a timer's report for the evaluators.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Beth, our evaluators, Carol Ann Halstead, 215, qualified. Jackie Kenny, 206, qualified. Mike, you went over a few seconds, 330, 332. Thank you.
And before I go on, I did not bring my pictures from Scotland, except for two that I do have in my living room. As I think I told Mike Florio at one point, yes, we went to St. Andrews. No, I did not golf, nor did I go to the golf course, because I'm much more interested in seeing the ancient ruins. This was actually from the castle at St. Andrews. And this was from the chapel and cemetery at St. Andrews. So I was much more interested in seeing those. So, David, are you ready? Thank you very much.
I see I have a plethora of time here. So I would like to apologize for not wearing a kilt, but I do have my Welsh rugby shirt. And I've got, no, God, no. There's no huddles, Eric. I need a game with huddles where you get a breath. So I have the feathers. I identify with the poor King Charles because my family wouldn't let me take over the family business either. Had to wait and wait and wait. So when he turned like 50, I sent him, there was a website, an English website, you could say congratulations. So I said, you're not alone. You know, I told them that I wasn't in charge of Licata Brothers yet. Not that it would have made a difference. But anyways, I love the theme. And last week you set me straight, which was real nice because my big excuse was I'm not going to buy a kilt because I don't know that much about my ancestors. And then you said, no, don't worry about it, kid. You're Irish and you just got to find a county Cork kilt, but it's still not going to happen because I don't want to show off my Italian varicose veins. But I love the theme, and who would know more about it? I mean, in this group, who would know more about it than you? Maybe Kate someday, but she got to work her way up, learn more from her mom. And the program having the various kilts on it, that's very interesting. My son Michael has the poor stable boy kilt. It's just, what is it? Yeah, it's a utility thing. You know, I looked at it, I said, gee, I said, this kilt is not kicking, Mike. It doesn't kick. Anyways. Well, and I want to thank our Toastmaster today, Beth, because she's very clever, because we have to spend every moment, every extra moment she has making us think about that festival that rolls around in the fall. So she certainly succeeded in that. All right. Our first evaluator was Carol Ann, and she opened with praise, which is always an excellent idea. I tell people that are not familiar with Toastmasters, and I try to explain the job of the evaluators. And our job is that when we are done, that person that we evaluated cannot wait to speak again. And I think that's been successful. That's why this club is 41 years old in April. Next week. Thank you. It was a beautiful sunny morning over on Transit, and we were chartered at the Best Western. So somehow that district conference came here. So that was pretty neat. Hasn't come here in a long time. she did a nice job. She did a Bonnie sandwich indeed, because she gave Margot plenty of things to mull over, opened with praise, closed with greater praise, and had a nice middle where there's some improvements. Now, the bonus question today, because one of Margot's props she held up, that's my little clue. Here's the question. The Mars family, famous for Mars candy, what was the name of their dog?
It's the name of their horse. Snickers was the name of their horse.
Oh, sure, Margot. Thanks, boss.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for, Dave.
Oh, you know what? A friend of mine had a dog named Snickers. That's where the confusion came in. Well, thanks for sorting me out again, boss. But I thought you got extra credit then. Oh, gosh. All right. Now, Jackie, that was a good opening to explain how long you've known Joseph. And that brought it all home. And then you delved into his theatrical past, and that was excellent as well. And that's all the years that I've been in the club and all the years that Joe have been in the club. And I'm pretty good about attendance. I don't remember anyone ever mentioning that he is theatrical, but I didn't know he had a past. So that was good too. And when you came time to give him the old headlock and the noogie in the middle of the evaluation, it was appropriate. You were a little tough, but that's Joe. He's not new. So I want to give you kudos for that as well, too. So that was an appropriate evaluation with an appropriate level of gentle scolding. Mike, why'd you go over? Because I got to hold you to that, and it was only 2 seconds. All modesty aside, and I'm going to sound like a little league dad, I was surprised at what a great job, not surprised, but very pleased at what an excellent job he did this morning. And I want to go a little bit out of bounds, but I want to give Darcy credit for the rungs on that ladder have disintegrated. I enjoyed that. That was quite a picture, mind picture. Good job. Mike, I want to give you credit again for calling for a second round of applause. That was very nice. And I'll just wrap it up on Michael and say, Mike, today you were a great coach. You did a good job coaching. The boss, the Toastmaster du jour, has asked me to call for the reports. I'm going to call on the word master again because the call was a little bit earlier, a little too early, so we can make up for that. So when we call for reports, it's not as busy as it is at the front of the meeting. So I think we'll go with the master. What do you got, Eric? It's Eric Snyder.
It's
So nice that he's in person because we get nervous when he gives his report from Zoom out of his car while he's waiting for the traffic light to change.
You got a little something on your head there, Dave.
Yeah. No, it doesn't. Yeah.
Did you comb it the wrong way or something, Dave? Oh yeah, we did. Yeah. All right, folks, get your Tylenols ready because I have a report to present. All right, we had a lot of ands today. Who had more than 5? Margot had more than 5. Jackie had more than 5. Joe had more than 5. Darcy had more than 5, but that's okay. Kay had 5. Len had 8, and Phil had 5, and Dave, I count you with more than 5 ands. That's unusual for you. We had more than 5 so's, and the winner is Nancy, who did not had any ahs or ums, all that today. So Nancy's the winner. The miracle. Back to you, Mr. Hairmaster. I'll be in the parking lot later.
Oh, if I was younger, Eric, I'd kick you right. Never mind. All right. What would a meeting that is focused on tartans be without a true Scot? And it's Maggie, and she is going to bring us up to speed as the grammarian. Maggie Craig. The little steps. Whoa, that's Corey.
Gonna die here.
Look, everybody, Maggie's here.
Thank you. Craig Tartan. Craig Tartan dates back to the 15th century. And I can tell you from the William the Lion's reign onwards. Craig, hole in the rock, and the Craig name came from the people who lived by the hole in the rock. Okay. Gee, I'm hoping. On the other hand, if he's my cousin, maybe that's not. Yeah, there's okay, about famous Maggie Craigs or Craigs. If you Google Maggie Craig, it's like a really common name, 3 of which are writers, myself included, and there was a novel, a fictional novel called Maggie Craig. So super common. We all know one. Okay. I'm so lucky to be here. So, the grammarian. First of all, I want to say that I'm always impressed by the speaking skills in this group and the use of language, and mostly the pacing and the cadence, because it exudes such confidence. And that's what I aspire to, is to come here. I always feel like and fast. And one of my things, Maggie's report cards, were she talks too much, too loud, and too fast. So Kate and I, kindred. Anyway, so having said that, I wanted just to say, so I'm just running through a few things. Joe, you're a really great speaker, and your use of your body and your excitement and your enthusiasm, I really enjoy. One thing I have noticed is you use, and this is not unique to this particular speech, is you use the word always a lot. And I hope I can help you. Well, you could do it yourself, I suppose, but I did, perpetually, often. There are words you could use in place of always. And another word that you use quite a bit is again. So if you wanted to pay attention, and the only reason I would want to bring those up is you're such a great speaker. It's time to just hone in on those little points and elevate it just a little bit. Darcy, there's, one thing, your speech was great, and this was a slip of the tongue, I know, but I'll say it anyway because that's my job. You said there is always challenges, and there are always challenges. Mike Licata, same idea. You use the word just a lot, and that's just another thing to, and again, a great speaker. Jackie, you have such a great cadence, and you show thoughtful speech, and you speak from the heart. And because of that, I feel that you always choose great words. So I wanted to compliment you on your great word choices. I thought, I love that Len doesn't scream traditional. I don't know. It just jumped out at me. And Phil, don't look too far back. You might not like what you find. I think I should tell my kids that. Don't want to know too much about your mother. Anyway, Margot, I loved your kit, and I thought they contained a lot of great analogy for leadership skills. One of the things you said was communicating back and forth, which is a little redundant. A great exchange of ideas, dynamic conversation might be another way to say it, but that just jumped out at me as a little redundant. And of course, my mentor, the person who brought me here, Dave Licata. Poor boy kilt, is it? Poor stable boy kilt, a utility kilt. I want one of those. I've always wanted one of those. So thank you very much. Thanks.
Wow. Well, worry about that later. Thank you, Mary. Before we do the word master, because we want everybody to have a shot at using the word Bonnie, it's our quiz master, Mary Caravanero.
So I have 4 questions. How many cows did Darcy milk? Do I report 200?
200.
100. What? Just you. No, but I didn't say your husband. 100.
Oh.
What day is Tartan Day? April 6th. How many citizens does Maggie have? Citizenship.
3.
And last but not least, what are 3 items in Margot's survival case?
Rubber band and
Keys.
A rubber band, candle, and a paper clip. I have to use the word of the day, so I just said this is such a Bonnie shawl. And you're Dave, don't I just dropped everything.
yeah, don't wait for me.
Dave. I don't want him to get.
Mike, we wanted to give everybody a shot, an additional shot at word of the day. Are there any additions that you want to add to your Bonnie word of the day, Bonnie?
Dave, you used it. Jackie used it. And of course, Mary used it. So, that made my day. Mary used Bonnie. Have a Bonnie day.
Our Michael is an excellent golfer, and he wishes to remind us that golf stands for gentlemen only, ladies forbidden. Well, that's why you didn't go. All right. That's enough of me. Yay. Turning it back to our Toastmaster du jour. There you go.
Thank you. Okay, let's see. We need to do winners and we need to do the 50-50 club and have announcements. So the winners for today, table topics, Len Thornton. Our evaluator for today is Jackie Kenny. And our speaker for today is Darcy. Thanks. Yes. We're going to take a little break here before we draw this. We have a little problem with adding again. There are 4 tickets. There is $6.
Just offered some money for you.
No, we have $2 more than we have tickets. Did someone forget to get a ticket? Yeah. I guess. So you may draw the winner. Okay, the last 3 numbers. Oh, you're killing me here. Oh, good grief. Okay, you picked the same ticket. Very good. 879. Okay. Very good. So, okay, I will now hand it over to our officer of the day to close. Mary.
The meeting's adjourned.
Please stop the timer and I'll make some announcements.